What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome to your live weekly energy report. I am your host, the spiritual bodybuilder, and we are here to talk about the current energies for the week of March 9th to the 15th of 2021. I hope you all are doing well. Let's talk about these energies. But first, before I get into that, I'd like to remind you guys that I did just upload on my YouTube the new moon in Pisces video. Please feel free to go check that out and share it if you resonate with it. And 30% off astrology readings. Go to my website, spiritualbodybuilder.com, and check out the bomb ass opportunity community and download my free ebook. Downloading my free ebook, Decrypting the Language of the Human Body, will put you on my mailing list for the opportunity community. All right. I have a pretty awesome duplicatable 4-week transformational protocol that I have on there that you guys can do. And we meet every Friday, and it's pretty damn amazing. You can go on my YouTube to check out those videos as well. So we are in March, and we have all the planets direct, and there is a lot going on. I'm feeling the energy a lot more than what I really feel in the astrology, but I'm going to break this down. Basically, in this window of all these planets direct, we have a massive opportunity for growth. Okay. Now, growth comes with, growing pains. It can be difficult sometimes. But the universe is showing us these things because what we've been wanting to manifest, what we've been really wanting to have in our lives is coming into our lives right now, guys, everywhere, for everyone. And if you're in a really nasty situation, it is because that situation is not meant for you. So you need to look within, look at yourself. Don't project. Don't project out to the world, oh, this person fucked me over, or this person hurt me, or this is going on, that's going on. Ask yourself, why did I manifest this experience into my life? And you'll be surprised at what you might learn. There is, the movie, Liar Liar with Jim Carrey. That's a vision that I got of this week. It's like, we can no longer lie to ourselves, right? There's just, hello, what's up, Mama Jody? There is no more lying to ourselves about anything. And the people that are around us that we're manifesting towards us are being mirror reflections of what we are going through within ourselves, okay? So as we are moving through this energy, remember, we just moved from a massively fixed kind of stubborn energy into this mutable energy. And while we're in this mutable energy of Pisces, right, this is like coming into a new, like a rebirth, really. And, we've been talking about this for the last, year and a half or so, but up until now, it's been the breakdown of the old, right? And now, like, all the stuff that is old, that is no longer in alignment with our energy, is coming up. So we're seeing it in other people. We're seeing our own shit in other people. And that's huge. That's important. Okay. But what's more important is to choose, make a decision. Are you going to allow your triggers to bury you, basically? Or are you going to allow yourself to feel these feelings that are coming up, to purge them, to process them, to get rid of them? Really, to learn the lesson that they've been trying to teach you your whole life. This is the real work and opportunity from the Great Conjunction, okay? And this Great Conjunction, when it first hit, it was like, oh, okay, but it was a 20-year cycle, right? Starting a brand new 20-year cycle in an air sign, in a fixed air sign. So we are this year, and especially with Saturn square to Uranus, right? And with Saturn sextile to Chiron semi-sextile to Uranus, that whole energetic process is the bringing up and sextiles, like, you gotta kind of meet halfway, right? It works. It's good. It's a good aspect, and it's bringing it up. So this is really where we must look within and be brutally honest with ourselves. Like, I can't lie. Like Jim Carrey, right? The goddamn pen is blue. So, you know, be honest with yourself, right? What are you running from? What are you hiding from? What are you really going into? Yesterday we had the moon conjunct Pluto, and then today we have the moon conjuncting Saturn, and then it's going to be heading into conjuncting Jupiter and Mercury before it hits the full moon. I'm sorry, the new moon. So, this week is really, it's digging up that deeper level of our consciousness. It's digging up that plutonic kind of vibe, right? This is deep shit, guys. This is deep shit. So honor that depth within yourself. Okay. If you're feeling drawn to or called to something, honor that. Go into it with a childlike curiosity, because if you allow the triggers to suppress whatever action that you've been feeling that you want to take, you're going to probably miss out on something really massive. This is the time to make the shit happen. This is the time to take action. This is the time to go. However, I will say, I want to specify that this is the time to take inspired action. We must be like, we can't force anything right now. There's so much shit going on. There's so much information. There's so much change happening, right? We must act with inspiration, not motivation. Now, we need both. Right? You may be being motivated to try something new, start something like me, for example. Me and my boy Cody Crowley have been getting together, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to do hit style training and to get back in the flow, right? Getting that body moving, right? Getting back into shape and feeling good. And that for me has really created a better structure, and in turn, I'm helping with stability for my friend, and we are all really coming together to we're all really coming together where we feel that heart level connection, right? And stepping in that heart level connection, and each step we take into that vulnerability, especially with this basically all week long. Okay, the sun is going to be conjunct Neptune, and Venus is coming into its conjunction with the sun and Neptune as well. And they're all going to sort of carry and go from the end of the zodiac, all right, the very last 30 to 20, I'd say 10 degrees of the zodiac into Aries. And then later on the month, for the full moon in Libra, we're going to have Venus and the sun conjunct Chiron for the full moon. All right. So this whole thing is playing out like it's bringing up all this vulnerable shit. It's bringing up all this deep truth within ourselves that maybe we don't want to see, maybe we don't want to hear, maybe we don't understand. And when we have that confusion within, it makes us want to sort of freak out and like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Right? Chill. This is where you need the motivation for structure. All right. This new structure that this shit is going in a certain way, and you know where you're not honoring yourself, right? You know where you're not taking responsibility. And that's being called out right now too. We have to take responsibility in all these new ways. And as we take responsibility and we become more inspired, it's building and building and building, but it's building as we're letting go, right? So we're kind of building the plane as we're flying at the same time. And we're having this new moon in Pisces coming up this weekend. And when that is exact, when the sun is conjunct Neptune, it's a very I want to be more loving. I want to be more caring. I want to be more open. You become much more energetically sensitive. You become much more cathartic even, right? You start to see these visions of what life could be and where we're going and what we're doing. All right. Trust these emotional impulses that feel like your truth. Now, there's going to be egoic impulses as well, and those are going to feel more hectic and crazy. Like, say for example, you get a job offer, or like you're an entrepreneur and you get like a client or a business offer, right? And it seems too good to be true, but they're like, yeah, let's do this right now, right? I'd be a little weary of that, but go into it, but make sure you dot all your I's and cross all your T's. But if you're constantly feeling drawn to the opposite direction, all right, if you're feeling pulled like, ooh, it's going to be really, really, really strong right now, all right. And the thing is, the more we fight it, the more it's going to hurt ourselves, the more it's going to shut our heart down. Because look, the universe basically is saying this is your chance, okay? And of course, everybody on here is an adult, most likely, right? So like the younger generation right now, they're really just they're already in this Aquarian age type of energy. The older peeps like me and you, we have a little bit of crystallized DNA that we still have to break through and break open. So with that opening up and breaking through and breaking open, we're coming into a new level of our consciousness. And when we do that, okay, sometimes there's a period of time where we don't understand what the fuck is going on. We're not sure what decision to make, right? So if you're in a place where you're like, oh my God, I got so much shit going on, I have no idea what to do, sit with that. Don't escape, don't distract yourself, right? Because the other side of Neptune and Pisces is distraction, is escapism. Okay. But this is like feeling the love. It's feeling the collective consciousness love all around us. And with Venus sitting there too, this is asking ourselves at a very, very deep heart-based, soul-based level. What do I really want? What do I like? I've been trying to manifest this shit for so long. What do I really want? And and then when it shows up, what if it shows up maybe a little bit different than you thought it was going to show up? That's that control dynamic. Okay. And with that control dynamic, it's that's the trigger that's coming up that we need to face and dissolve. All right. Mag saying, I feel empty. When you're feeling empty, it means that you're stuck in that control dynamic. You got to let go. You just got to let it go. All right. And it's going to hurt. And you're going to feel a pain, and it's going to suck temporarily. It is. But this is the work. This is the shadow work. And this March and April is the time for us to be doing this very powerful shadow work. This is setting us up for an opportunity to step into the next chapter of our life. But in order to, Aries season is upon us, right? Aries season is when the real shit begins, is when everything really starts. So with that, we're letting go of all this stuff. We're bringing in all this new stuff. And towards the end of the month, we're going to start to see things formulating and merging together. All right. Now, depending on the choices that we make in here, are we going to face that fear, face that feeling, and own it and not project it out to the world? Are we gonna stand in our responsibility, or are we gonna play the victim? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. I know you're in pain. There's a lot of people in pain. But the pain is purification. And this is this is like the last 1%. This is the big hoorah. This is for all the chips. Put it all in, right? And as we put them all in, we surrender, and it's like, oh shit, what's going to happen? And then suddenly, out of fucking nowhere, in ways that you did not expect, and you don't know how the hell it's going to come together, boom, it's there. And then the trick becomes, is it really here? You sure? Or is this the universe fucking with me? Right? That fucking fear kicks in. We have to face that fear again and let it bring up. So if you are finding yourself right now pointing your finger and, hey, they did this, they did that, they're fucked up, they're this, they're that, blah, 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 because this is, Pisces is emotions, about relationships, right? Most importantly, the relationship with you. So and I know I've gotten some messages from people, telling me some really horrific freaking stories, and I get it, right? But really, this is even, more critical for you to remember that you got to look at your own shit. Why did you invite this into your world? What is it trying to teach you? We've all, I think people that have gone through like a really serious betrayal, heartbreak, something like that, it brings a new level, a sense of humility, right? Because you felt that, and you would never want anyone else in the world to feel that again. And that's the healer within all of us. And this is where that Saturn, Chiron, Uranus, aspecting is coming into play, because in order to step into the world we want to create, we have to feel it. We have to face it, right? Let's see. I'm at the "are you sure" part. With all the signs, it's still unbelievable, hard to trust. And that is your trust issues with the universe. That's your fear. Feel it, face it, let it come up, let it teach you. Go into it. If you feel like, fuck, I'm gonna go in this situation, it's gonna fuck my life up. You know what? It's probably gonna fuck the fucked up part of your life up, so that you can step into the great part of your life, right? If you're in a place where you don't want to be, and you're afraid that your life's gonna get fucked up from something or someone or some business or some deal, go into it and see what happens. That is where the lesson really is. Okay. So, let's see. On tomorrow, we have the moon that's going to be conjuncting Jupiter and Mercury, and the sun exactly conjuncting Neptune. So that is just fucking deep, man. This is deep analysis, deep critical understanding, awareness, seeing like literally like the deepest levels of abandonment and rejection issues we have from when we were children. This is going all the way, putting all the chips in. All right. And, this is, but you guys have to understand too, like, growth, energetic growth, emotional growth, even physical growth. All right. It all has pain associated with it. Growing pains. All right. So if you're experiencing growing pains, then take care of yourself better. That's self-love, right? Have a discipline to take care of yourself better. And that is proving to yourself, and that you can take care of yourself, right? Get comfortable in the discomfort. When we are growing, right? When we are expanding, we cannot be in a place of safety. And it's those things, those attachments, those addictions, those things that we were clutching to that made us feel safe, right? Maybe it was a security blanket in a relationship, or maybe it's a job that you hate but you make good money at, or maybe it's a dog, a pet that is gonna die, but you don't know how to handle it. Whatever the situation might be, all right, it's something that you have to let go of. There's a cycle of life and death, and when you zoom out, right, and look at the bigger picture, you realize that everybody and everything comes into your life and is your teacher, and it comes in for a reason. And when you start to look at things like that, Magzan, if your back hurts, if you want to understand how and why that's energetically affecting you, download my free ebook, Decrypting the Language of the Human Body. That is going to be either your sacral or your root chakra. And of course, there is a collective root chakra attack on humanity right now, which is bringing up, the root chakra is where all our fear of safety and security lies in this world. If you don't feel safe and secure in your own ability to take care of yourself financially, to take care of yourself emotionally, to take care of yourself physically, then you feel alone or lost in the world. Okay. This is why, like, people are meant to be interdependent. But from all the conditioning that we've gotten over the years, and with all these, with the way that the world is, the matrix has been created, it's created to be a place of fear, and it plays off of that. This is where the ascension, there's going to be so many more people waking up, and it's so important for us to be doing our work so that we can help the people that are just coming into this new world, because it's a scary fucking place right away, right? You remember the first time that you had this awareness, like, oh shit, this life is not real. This I'm a puppet on a string, right? You're like, holy shit. And then you feel so lost and alone. But we're seeing more and more people, you know, come up and come out and getting more and more like healers out there and people that are doing the work, and it's really great to see. There's a, you know, with any growth of anything, there's a really terrible trend, honestly, too, about, like, you know, false people doing, you know, and still in their shadow, but trying to do healing work, and it's not very effective. But hey, that's part of the growth process, right? Because, you know, hurt people, but everybody's fucking hurt. I mean, just about, right? Um, so the 3D people have to die off. I know what you meant. Well, I don't think the 3D people are going to die off per se. I think that they're just going to be in their little new reality with all these super smart cities and shit. And those of us that are doing the work that are ascending, like, the vibration is going to be so different that we're not going to even be, you know, like, when you grow and you're going into a new level of experience, things just fall off. They fade away. They just become, you know, something else. And I think that, like, that's why a lot of people are moving right now. We're seeing, like, in this next 2 months, we see a lot of people moving to a lot of new places. There's a lot of migration that's going to be happening as people now, like, our soul families are connecting. Like, people are feeling drawn to connect with the people that they connect with. And as that happens, you're going to see more and more. There's going to be clusters of, like, tribal kind of clusters where people are connecting and living with each other in communities and communes and new ways like that. A lot of people are going to be living off the grid. Hey, bet that ass. So, not if they take the jab. Well, that's true. If they take the jab, then they're just going to be zombie land. Basically, they're going to be zombies. Okay. So, so we have kind of like a rough moon situation, if you will, from now until the new moon. In this dark phase, in this fixed energy, it's almost like, you know, the lights getting shut off, and right before the lights get turned way bright on, right? Like, we walk in this new door, right? So these are the times that really build our trust and faith in the divine. All right. And look, magical shit's going to be happening, guys. There's a lot of magical things that can come into your life if you believe that it's possible. You have to make sure that you're facing that fear, that deep stuff within that, you know, just feels like shit. Look, it's better to feel it now and just face it and feel it and move through it, as opposed to allowing it to shut you down and suppress it and, you know, move back in time. We don't want to do that, and we ain't going to do that, okay? Because we are too smart for that shit. Can you talk about soul relationships coming together also, like related to astrology? Well, I can definitely talk about that. You know, we have karmic relationships, we have soulmates, we have twin flames. Soulmates, I believe, are, you know, like I have, like we can have friends that are soul mates. It's a soul mate can be a friend, can be a lover, can be, you know, a pet, anything, a child. And because as we are raising our frequency, more and more people are just feeling magnetically drawn to each other. So I do believe that a lot of twin flames, a lot of soulmates, soul family are coming together, and the karmic relationships are recycling with the people that are not growing, right? So especially in this next 2 months, there's a lot of that going on. Now, of course, remember, if you have to face some shit, all right, the universe is going to send you some things. So try not to gain any expectation, right? I wouldn't get hung up on dates, child of the sun, you know, because then that sets expectation. And when it comes to divine manifestation, you never want to have expectation. And we all get caught up in it, right? We even if we're super aware, we're like, you know, okay, I'm not going to expect anything, but then feelings get involved and this weird shit starts to happen. Your heart starts opening up. You're like, oh, I have expectation. I don't know why or how, right? So allow things to unfold and don't try. Look at it as it's a situation where what can this experience, this person, this business, this thing teach me? We are in like, you know, final exams for the next 2 months, right, in our life. And the universe, like, say, okay, we're giving you an opportunity. What have you learned? Right? Well, which transits are bringing people together specifically? I don't think it's a specific transit. I think it's just a collection of all the energies going on at the same time. But I will say this month in particular, with it, we have to think of the season, right? It's Pisces season up until the 3rd week, and then we go into Aries season, which is endings, mutability, changing into cardinal, new beginnings, right? And the ending and the beginning of the entire zodiac. So this is really like the real first of the year, astrologically doesn't start until March 20th. All right. Once that happens, it's like the old shit is now gone. Now, say for example, you're fighting it, right, and you're feeling stuck in your shit, right? If we're not allowing the old stuff to purge out and go through, it might get stuck in our body and create something like cancer, or something like an autoimmune disease, or something like a really bad car accident. You get injured. Okay. Things like that are like, universe has to stop. Nope. You really got to take some time to think about yourself and really humble yourself and shift your perception to what's really important. All right. That is very important. I'm seeing everywhere a lot of people, like, you know, a lot of people are either dying, know someone that's dying, or know someone that got. I just saw something on my Instagram earlier. An old friend of mine that used to live in Vegas got into a car accident, and she had half her knee ripped off, and she's you know, road rash, got flung from her car, but she's alive, right? So there's a lot of that going on. How do I feel about twin flames? Well, I'm a believer now. I've gone through a lot of back and forth and up and down, not really sure what to believe, because there's a lot of like false information out there. Or as you're going through your process, you're going to meet people that might be a karmic, might be a soulmate, might be a twin flame. You won't know until you know, right? But the thing is, the fear interrupts that knowing. And it's the fear that we have to face inside in order to be able to grow through it, right? So yes, essentially what's going on here is we have to have an ego death, or maybe multiple ego deaths. And you have to get comfortable with that idea, because the ego wants safety and security, right? But the soul wants to grow, right? Our twin flames expected to come together with these times. They are, yes. This year is going to be huge for people manifesting their twin flames. But don't get caught up on the term, right? The twin flame vibe it's a feel. It's a knowing. Another name for your twin flame is your ex. You're fucking right. You know, twin flames will trigger the fuck out of you, and they'll make you see all your deeper shit, right? So, but if you get caught up, if you get caught up on you know, the word or the idea, and you're looking for it, and you have that tunnel vision, which is the Aquarian energy, then you can get into a karmic relationship and be like, oh my God, they can read me, they know so much about me. But everybody right now is getting a deeper level of energetic connection. So if you, you know, the way a karmic relationship works, right, is that you guys might have, it's a trauma bond. Okay. The deep trauma within you is going to be brought up to be exposed. And generally speaking, you know, we're not really ready. Our ego is not ready to face that trauma bond or response. So we meet someone, and then it's super intense, and there's a super deep connection. Like, oh my God, what the fuck's going on? And then suddenly it goes south, and all the trauma comes up. Right now, if you guys don't feel a deep enough connection to where you can see beyond the trauma, that's how you know it's a karmic. Okay, and when two people are ready to come together and be there for each other, they see past all the bullshit, because look, everybody has a past, everybody's made mistakes, everybody fucks up, but we are so judgmental, right? We have a list. They got to fit all these things on this list. If it doesn't look like this list, then nope, they don't pay attention to, like, okay, how am I playing a part in this? We've all done it, right? But it's really important to be honest with yourself again. So maybe you might, you know, meet a couple karmics because you have a couple lessons to learn from these people, and then boom, you find your twin. All right. But this is why you don't want to get caught up in the phrase or the idea. All right. I promise you, once you meet your twin or even a soulmate, like you'll know, you'll listen to your heart and you'll have that feeling, and it'll be like, all right, it's a knowing, and there's just no other way. It's sort of like, like if somebody asks, like, what is ayahuasca like? What is the ayahuasca journey like? Well, I can sit here and explain to you my experiences, but it's unique for everyone because everyone has their own, labyrinth in their mind that they have to navigate through. And Mother Aya works with everybody in a unique way, and every ceremony is different. So to try to explain that experience is almost impossible. It's an experiential process. You have to go through it to understand it, right? This is the same thing. This is the universe teaching us, and the universe teaches us in that way, right? Yes, the new paradigm of relationships essentially is the twin flame. I definitely agree with that, Amada. You cannot fit it because the 3D box, the 3D matrix is all about fear. It's fear based, and if we're following the fear, then we ain't ascending, right? We're not growing. We're not activating new DNA. And deep down, like, especially if you feel that, you have a twin flame out there, you're meant for something more. I mean, like most sensitives and empaths and stuff do have that feeling within, because we do have a big mission. This is the mission that we're coming into. But really, we are all healers. We are all masters of ourselves to understand that we don't fit into this fucking 3D box. Fuck that shit. We're going to grow and change it, right? And as we change it, we're creating something new. And you can't, like, it's not being based on the old system. It's not analytical in per se. It's an experiential thing. So as we go into it, and as we allow ourselves to be guided by divine source energy, we create it. We're creators of the new world, right? Oh man, all timelines now forever on this. What is this one? May the Holy Trinity destroy all Cabal and all Illuminati and all timeline. Boom, yeah, get it. Hell yeah. I agree. We have some powerful stuff going on right now, and I do feel the light is winning. I feel like really, there's more and more people that are really connecting into this kind of energy. And as we do, we all need each other. We all empower each other. When we're coming from our heart and we connect on that deep level, and we're able to be vulnerable, and we're able to feel safe in our heart, that's when the shit comes out, and that's when we grow. Okay, so allow this to come through it's going to be a bit of a purgative month. Next month, on the other hand, it's gonna feel faster, and it's gonna feel like we're just flying into this new world. Like, wow, where the hell did this come from? Things are gonna be coming at us so quickly. Manifestation is happening at a rate that we've never seen before. Have you noticed? Like when you take an action, you think something, it'll like the answer or the lesson will manifest almost instantly. Now, again, if you're fighting it or in the control dynamic, it's gonna hit you, and it's gonna hit you fucking hard, and it's gonna knock you off your ass because you need to slow down. And sometimes we need, stubborn people, myself included. I'm stubborn as hell, and sometimes we need to knock down and be like, okay. And you get knocked down enough times by the universe, like, well, okay, I get it. I'm not gonna fucking do that again, and I'm just gonna, I get it. I listen. I trust. Okay, I'm good. Let's go. Right. Yeah. So on Saturday, the early on the 13th, we have the new moon in Pisces, which is going to be very purgative. It's going to be very, very like heart activating. Okay. And of course, with Mercury in Gemini now, we're all cerebral. We're all like, let's fucking go. Let's make it happen. Especially you Geminis out there. Yep. Because the North Node is there and Mars is there. And Mars is going to come and conjunct the North Node later this month, either later this month or early next month. And when that happens, that's the go signal. Actually, let me see exactly what day that is. I'm very curious. It is on March 26th. Okay, so March 26th, and that is literally 6 days into Aries season. Okay, so this is where shit's just gonna start flying forward, and it's gonna get a little cray, but cray in a good way. You know what I mean? So that's a plus. So yeah, March 13th we have the new moon, and then of course after that we have the moon's gonna go conjunct over Chiron. And that's going to sort of like warm us up, like as we're opened up from the Pisces energy, the mutable energy, and it comes in this cardinal energy of this. It's like opening us up, and now a new level is sitting there. That cardinal is like a new start of like a new level of vulnerability. So look, guys, get used to and okay with being uncomfortable. Get used to being vulnerable. It's almost like the only people that you're going to be able to be around are the people that you can be authentic and uncomfortable with. Other people, you're just going to shy away. Like, I can't be in this energy. It doesn't work for me. Listen to that. Don't be hard-headed and fight it. Please don't. And if it's like, this makes no sense, I just feel like I need to pack up my shit and like move across the country, then maybe that's what you need to do. Or get a reading with me, and I can help you navigate that too. You know, we can work with that. I actually, just someone I spoke to the other day was thinking about that, and I helped her get a lot of clarity, and she just like, okay, I know what I need to do now. Let's go. Boom. It was a beautiful thing to see. Right. Nicole, I'm so happy you're here too. So, the 15th, we have the moon at the end of Aries. All right. And we have, Mercury now at 0 degrees Pisces. So Mercury being in 0 degrees in Pisces in general. Okay. It's not really strong right there, but I think it's actually going to be a nice relief, like a pressure release valve from it being in Aquarius. Because Aquarius, we have this huge vision and we're like, fuck, I just want to get it done. I just want to start it. I just want to make it happen. I just want to do it. But it's like, I don't see the details. I don't know what to do because there's still more shifting and changing, and we have to trust in the divine timing. But with Mercury in Pisces, it's all of a sudden now we're really in our feels, right? Now we're like, oh man, like now I'm not so fixed. Now it's going to be changing, but I have all these feelings coming up. So again, more cathartic, more purgative, more just bleh. Now be careful not to emotionally vomit all over everybody, right? But this is where you might just, want to be alone and, watch like a romantic comedy or something and cry for 2.5, 3 hours. And that's okay. Just don't go too crazy and eat like 2 pints of Ben and Jerry's. All right. That's like not good for the body. And right now our body is especially sensitive to these energies. Have you guys seen the Shamans residence lately? Holy crap. There are volcanoes also. I follow this account on Instagram. It's Life in the End Times. At Life in the End Times, and they show all the shit that's going on all over the world. There is I think they said in Iceland like 3 or 4 days ago there was 20,000 earthquakes in a matter of 24 hours. There was a tsunami warning in not Iceland, another country up there, New Zealand or Newfoundland, or I don't know, one of those. But there's volcanoes erupting all over the world. There's dead fish showing up everywhere, like on the shores of these coastlines. There is so much stuff going on that is it's going to have a ripple effect, guys, and it's going to change the way we live. Like on one sense, in the 3D, what I would call it, they're going to have people moving into smart cities, and they're going to make people migrate, because they're trying to reduce emissions and trying to do all these ridiculous things that are just, the whole system is just completely broken. It's not going to work, but they're going to try to make it so that everything is much more accessible, much more like automated. All the people that are getting the jab are going to move into those cities, and we're going to go live in Sedona. But the rest of us are going to be drawn away from those, and we're going to start like living in an RV or like creating communes where like, we have these huge mansions and like, 20, 30 people live there, and we all pitch in and work together. We're going to have to start growing our own food, guys, and with technology and stuff, there's a lot of really cool, awesome, amazing technology that is coming out. I've seen firsthand some of this stuff, and it is going to change the way people think about the medical industry, which I think is really exciting. But the real technology is in here and in here. When we fully trust and become like fully vulnerable, guys, like that's when telepathy is real. The reason why we cannot communicate telepathically is because of the fear of other people finding out, the fear of not being able to be vulnerable. Because when someone can read your mind, they can read everything, right? So we have to face this, and this is the time right now to face this shit. And as we face it, we become more telepathic with other people. And you'll see, and especially people you have a deep connection with, or if you're in an intimate relationship, it's like, you're going to feel like, I know what to do for them before they even, say anything, because I can feel it. I can feel what they want. It's like you're feeling it in yourself. It's fascinating stuff, guys. And a lot of us are coming into a deeper level of our gifts. And right now it's confusing, right? Because we're still trying to figure out, myself included, I have a lot of change going on with my career and stuff like that. So I'm like, what do I do? Where do I go? And I'm not getting any answers, just to just allow it to unfold. Allow it to unfold. That's all I keep getting. So I'm allowing it to unfold. And it's like, wow, this is a lot easier if you don't really push for it. You know what I'm saying? But also requiring that discipline and that accountability and the community. So important, right? So stand in that knowing that you're going into a better place, the knowing that you are following your heart, and knowing that whatever is coming next, it might look a little chaotic right now, maybe even for this year, but pretty soon, like, this new life is going to look much more appealing. Okay. And however you want to do that, however you, as long as you are following your heart's guidance and surrounding yourself with people, they say that you are, the 5 top people you hang around with. So who are the 5 people? Or are you in hermit mode, not hanging out with anybody, right? Like, everybody's in a different place. When you're in hermit mode, that means that you've broken away from the lower vibrational people, but you still haven't processed enough to be ready to be around this new level of vibrational people. And this all requires another level of trust and faith. It all comes down to trusting your heart, guys. And we've all had our hearts smashed up a few too many times, and it's been scary to step into that. Embrace the fear. Okay, you can do it. We can all do it. So prepare for this month, really, in general, to be very vulnerable, but also incredibly, like, with the level of vulnerability that you allow yourself to experience comes an equal level of power, an equal level of stability in yourself. Because really, stability comes from in here. It doesn't come from out there. When we have emotional stability through mastering our emotions, or being honest with ourselves, then we master our life, because then we don't need any outside source to make us feel comfortable. That's like, we typically, as we go through life, at some point in time, we attach our ego identity to an external source. Like me, it was bodybuilding. I want to be a bodybuilder, right? But I got so attached to the idea of being a bodybuilder that I forgot who I was. And that's when everything crumbled and crashed. And I mean, I'm grateful it did, because I've discovered myself at a whole different level. But we are all discovering ourselves at a whole new level, right? How do I feel about coffee? I mean, I think I actually do coffee enemas like twice a month. I actually feel like they're pretty healthy. There's a lot of conflicting evidence, but a little caffeine, I think, is actually a good thing. It actually helps secrete very high amounts of glutathione in the liver. Now, of course, if you consume too much of anything isn't good for you, and it is very addictive. And too much stimulants can slow down your brain. It slows down the blood flow of the brain. So it all depends. I would actually read the book Superhuman by Dave Asprey. He has a lot of really great. He's the one that created the bulletproof diet and bulletproof coffee and all that stuff. So he has a lot of really great scientific evidence that he's poured millions of dollars into. So check that book out. I think it'll be a really good one. All right. So this is what I got for you guys today for this week. I hope you guys have a wonderful and beautiful week. The IG for all the world events going on is Life in the End Times. Life in the End Times. Okay. And I mean, we are in the end times, but we're coming into new times. And that's how we have to look at it. Like, we're going to be creative, dude. By 2025, appreciate you, Whitney. 2025, dude, like, we're going to be seeing, like, people living in a whole new way. It's going to look partly tribal and partly super technological, right? Yes. So if anybody would like a reading, or knows anybody that would like a reading, please send them this video. And then also send them my website, spiritualbodybuilder.com, 30% off astrology readings, and check out the opportunity community and download my free ebook. All right. I love you all very much, and I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful week. It's gonna be intense, but it's gonna be good. All right.